girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their
All right, good morning. Welcome back. Welcome. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everyone. Margin, Ponzi, Pat, Jacob, Dino, Paul, Robert, Chef. Good morning, Chef. Happy Monday. All right. Welcome back. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Thank God it's Monday. I don't know about all that. Closer. I don't know about all that. KZen, appreciate that, man. With the early morning donation. Thank you, brother. $10 dono. Bonjour. Big economic week. Big time. Big economic week. The Olympics are over. I think I watched a total of 5 minutes of the Olympics this year. Costco. Yeah, Costco's been hot. Paul, am I going to make a day in the life video? I don't know. Maybe do some more stuff like that at some point. But day in the life would be wake up, walk to my espresso machine, walk to my seat here, then that's about it. Rest of the day, nothing that crazy. Maybe play a little Overwatch, go get some lunch, go to the gym, Maybe make a video about it one day. No Lamborghini shopping. No Rolex shopping. None of that here. I'll go to Lamborghini car shows. I'll look. Love the look. Love the look around, but no breakfast. I don't eat food until I don't eat until around 12 o'clock. I don't eat until around 12 o'clock every day. I don't have breakfast. Pretty much like an intermittent fasting. Pretty much. Closer, appreciate that, man. $5 dono. Thank you, brother. We can't go any lower. That's right, Cameron. No food unless you yeah, I don't eat unless I have a green day. If I don't have a green day, I don't eat. I guess you could call it intermittent fasting, but I don't do it. I don't do it for that reason. I just don't eat in the morning. I don't know. I'm just not hungry. The coffee, the espresso sort of suppresses my hunger. Morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to the live stream. Got a new camera coming tomorrow. I'm very excited. So hopefully, video quality is all right, but I think it can be better. Got a really nice camera coming. So maybe I'll do some more videos, some cooler videos now that we have that camera. I'll try to get a little bit more creative. But yeah, maybe make a second channel. I don't know. Maybe like a day in the life channel, more like a vlog channel. I don't know. Make it more fun. Who knows? Always things to do. I just got to get more comfortable on the camera. That's all. Yeah, we got the Sony FX3. Sony FX3 for you camera guys out there, which is a pretty nice camera, cinematography camera, pretty up there camera. So that should be good. That goes straight to the write-off though. That's what's great about it. Straight to the write-off. Sony FX3 with the GM 2870 GM2. The lens is almost more expensive than the camera. So hopefully some good videos coming out. Let's get started. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for coming to the live stream. As always, welcome back. I have a Mac Mini M1 with the Pro. I gotta see how long like 4K videos are gonna be. How long it would take 4K in Final Cut Pro. I gotta see. Right now it's pretty quick on like the 1080p's, but with the Final Cut Pro with the 4K, I gotta see how long it would take to render these videos. We'll see. All right, guys, let's get started. Nice little talk. Nice little Monday morning. Try to push along the start, but let's do it. Let's do it. You pay for it, but that's tax deductible, right? So the camera is basically fully tax deductible at the end of the year. So whatever I pay for the camera is what I pay less in taxes. So, yeah, it's worth it, right? It's worth it. RAM, 16 gigabyte RAM. 16 gig RAM. Here's my Mac. M1, Apple M1 chip, 16 gig RAM, 1 terabyte SSD. All right. Welcome back, guys. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Here we go. Let's go ahead and start with that economic calendar. Here it is. It's pretty heavy. Whoops. It's pretty heavy. You guys can see right here. Not much today. Oh, hold on. I got to get my Demo Pro going. Demo Pro likes to shut down over the weekend. There we go. All right. You guys can see right here, Monday, not much. So really nothing to worry about there. Tentative time for this, which I really don't care about. Federal budget balance, really don't care about that today. So nothing on the economic this week, or I'm sorry, today on Monday. So nothing to worry about there. Tomorrow, though, it starts to get heavy. So tomorrow, 8:30, PPI. Bostic speaking at 1:15, but PPI at 8:30. Another week where PPI is before CPI. Not sure why they do that sometimes, but that is the case this week. So PPI before CPI, that is tomorrow. PPI, Wednesday, CPI. You guys can see that right there. So back-to-back, Tuesday, Wednesday, pretty heavy there on the economic calendar. Hopefully, create some volatility in this market, man. Hopefully, we get something moving here. And then Thursday, the retail sales and unemployment claims. Hopefully, another reason to get this market moving. A lot of stuff on Thursday. A little bit of lower importance, but definitely retail sales, definitely unemployment claims. Then we got 9:15 capacity utilization rate. Nothing too crazy there. Business inventory, mortgage delinquencies, natural gas. Friday, building permits, housing starts, preliminary consumer sentiment. And that's about it. So really, it's right here, guys. This is where the meat and potatoes are for this week. It's tomorrow morning, it's Wednesday morning, it's Thursday morning. So every morning over the next 3 trading days, not today, not including today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, you got some pretty big stuff. So obviously a reason to be cautious on the swing trades, right, and the first half of this week, no doubt. All right, got to be a little bit cautious on the swing trades, how much risk you have overnight. Definitely something to be aware of. If you are swing trading, you got to be aware of that data that will be releasing in the pre-market, and that is before you can act on options contracts, right? Option contracts do not open until market open. You can't take action on them, and so you have to be aware of that if you are swinging. All right, so that's that. Earnings calendar. I got some stuff this week. Nothing too crazy in terms of like major tech names, but you do have some sort of ancillary names. Nothing much today. Tomorrow morning, Home Depot, OnCloud. Love the shoes. Awesome shoes. Pretty much I don't only have OnClouds, but very great shoes. I think so. So we'll see how they do there. Home Depot tomorrow morning as well. C Limited, if anyone remembers that name. Yeah, nothing really else that I'm interested in there. Wednesday, yeah, nothing. That AST name that people have been watching. That Space Mobile stock. How's that thing been doing? I'm going to take a look at that in a second. Alibaba, Walmart, JD, John Deere. And that's really it, guys. Really nothing crazy. So, got a few names in there. Home Depot, probably the biggest one. How's that AST company doing? Is it AST? What is that? Space Mobile. What's the ticker for that stock? ASTS? There it is. Yeah, this has been an interesting company. I wonder how legitimate this is. I think I need to look into this a little bit more. They are sending satellites to space for mobile, for cell phones, which is how it should be. I mean, I'm shocked that I mean, I really don't know the technicalities behind all this, guys. I'm not a avid satellite and mobile person here, but I'm surprised that our phones aren't off of satellites. I'm surprised we still have like cell phone towers. I'm assuming at some point it's going to be all satellites, but I don't know. What do I know? I don't know anything about this. So, maybe something to be interested in. I think it is sort of interesting, right? You can see trading higher. The company received FCC approval to launch its first 5 commercial Bluebird satellites. So, sort of interesting company, and this is why you've seen, you've seen this, right? This is why you've seen this, and you've seen it go up from $3 to $23. That's monstrous. Dark horse, dark horse name, one of those, hey, maybe I jump in early type names. I don't know. I think there's a lot of companies that could put this out of business, right? Starlink being one of them, Elon being one of them, Tesla being one of them. Not Tesla, but SpaceX. I don't know. Do they go into it themselves? Do they maybe they're using, SpaceX, maybe they benefit with SpaceX, right? Maybe SpaceX sends their satellites. They probably are going to be sending their satellites. Who's sending their satellites is the question. Probably SpaceX, right? I'm not sure. That would be an interesting question. Does anyone know the answer to that question? Who's sending their satellites to space? Is it SpaceX? That would be interesting. So, anyways, let's continue. Let's get into the stuff that we really care about. This is all just sort of, things to think about. But yeah, interesting there. Interesting company. Keep an eye on it. All right. So, hourly chart. SpaceX is sending them. All right. Let's get started. All right. So, hourly chart on the Nasdaq. And we are approaching some big spots, right? No doubt. We are approaching, I think, that level that we've been talking about that we could approach, right? If we hold above that 18.4, we talked about us getting up towards that 18.8. And that's the big spot. That's the spot I'm a little bit cautious of, right? Right here. Look at this. 18,800 rejections here on Friday of 2 weeks ago, right? That 18,800 rejection is really what caused that major downside. You can see right here, 18,800, 18,800. That's that previous low right there. That's these highs right here. And you've been still just grinding into this level, man. And it's been so slow on Friday. Such a slow day. Literally volumeless, terrible volume on Friday. Slow-ass move. And so right into that 18.8. That's sort of concerning to me. There is a little bit of concern here for me, right? I've sort of been a little bit bullish over the last 2 days. Thursday, Friday, I found some reasons to be long. But I am slightly cautious here. And I would be cautious yourself. This is a major level that we are approaching here at 18,800. You can see right here. Look at these rejections here. Look at this action here. 18.8, 18.8. And so if we sort of slowly grind into this 18.8, are we going to start seeing a little bit of a failure here? Right? Are we going to see some sellers stack up there? The way we're moving higher makes me think that this could really reject, right? If we were moving higher with some actual strength, with some actual volume, and some pretty confident upside, then I would be much more likely to, trust maybe more upside here. But man, 18.8 does look a little bit concerning. I would be very aware of that level. I would make sure you have that on your charts. I would make sure you watch what the market does if it tests it. Now, I will say, I think you will test 18.8, right? So I think you still have about 150 more points to the upside, 140 points to the upside. I think that's likely where the market wants to test, right? I think you want to at least test that level. But what happens when we get there? That's going to be a big question to me. And that's going to be a very cautious spot. So definitely have your level there, guys. I think that's major stuff right there at 18.8. Above 18.8, you got these 18.6 or 18.967. Now, why do I have a level here at 18.967? Why the hell is it that level? Well, let me go ahead and show you. I'm going to go back to the daily chart, and I'm going to show you the daily high from back here in March. This candle right here, the high of this candle right here, the high of this consolidation back in March was 18.967. That's this candle right here. 18.967 was the high of this little daily, whatever you want to call this, right? This little daily high. You can see this little upside, then this sort of curl lower, right? Right here is 18.967. So that could be a pretty tough level right there. That 18.967 daily high, you're pretty much your previous all-time high before this big move, right? Before this big move, back in, between April and June, right? Between April and June, the previous all-time high was right here at 18.967, okay? And so that is why I have that on my charts right here, right? You can see that is right there. So if we do sort of grind into that, also concerning, right? And what's on top of that level, right? We got the two thick boys up here. We got the 100 SMA and we got the 20 SMA that we need to be watching above that. So, man, this is a area that just doesn't really instill a lot of confidence, right? It just, you got to know And I just sort of stuttered there. That's interesting. I don't know the last time I've stuttered. You got to know, you got to be aware that we are trading back into some pretty heavy spots. Okay, so what do you do in that type of situation? There is in no situation when you're trading back into heavy supplies, you never want to be long at the highs, okay? You never want to enter longs in the intraday at some type of a high, okay? If you're going to enter longs this week, it's always going to be a pullback long, right? Pull back into some of these downside demands and then maybe long back into it. Pull back into that 18.4, long back into it. Pull back into that 18.250, long back into it, right? Just because we have these upside supplies, guys, does not mean I think the market's going to new lows, okay? That's you got to make sure you can decipher the difference there, right? There's a difference between upside rejection points to be aware of being long into and then, trying to be Nostradamus and guessing that we're going to go to new all-time lows, okay? That's a very different story here. But what this means to me is that if I'm going to long this week, I am not looking to long into these supply levels. I am more interested in, can we get a pullback and can I long back into it, right? Can I get some margin on my long opportunity? Because yes, there is some rejection points above 18.8, 18.967, absolutely. 20 SMA and 100 SMA above, absolutely rejections. But, right, what's the but? The but is the downside continuation is non-existent, okay? It is non-existent. And if you have continued to try to short in this, this grind higher, it has been extremely painful. Extremely painful. If you keep trying to stab a short at the highs, there is zero downside continuation. So while we know there is rejection points above, we also need to understand what the environment of the market is right now, and the environment has not allowed the market to drop. If you tried to short, it better be a scalp. This is the only day that provided something of downside. And this was, luckily, and I'm very happy to say, the day that I made a lot of money, right? Finally got that downside move. But besides that Wednesday drop, that upside has been very grindy, and the downside continuation has been non-existent. So that is something to consider, right? We have not seen that give-up move. We have not seen that fluidity, big word, fluidity, to the downside at all, right? So now we can see that this 18.4 level that was this previous low, these previous highs, has turned into a very strong demand on Friday, right? And that was the exact level we talked about on Friday to look for that pullback long and more important, to be cautious of shorting into, right? We talked about this in great detail on the Friday live stream, and we talked about this in the Discord. You guys should remember this. That early morning pullback into 18.4 definitely got some horny bears into that trade and got instantly squeezed out of it, right? No doubt. We were very much focused on 18.4 on Friday pre-market, and I actually took some longs off that level on Friday and made some nice money. And so while we do have those upside rejection points, we also see these major hold spots that continue to come in, 18.4 being a major one to watch, okay? So 18.4, any pullback, I'd look to see if that holds. Even under 18.4, you still have the 200 SMA at 18.250, which definitely is going to attempt to hold this Nasdaq higher. The 200 SMA is no joke, right? That's a no-joke level, 200 SMA on the Nasdaq. We are above it, 18.250. That's another big spot to watch. All right, so 18.4, 18.250, big demands below, and you need to remember the resiliency that we saw to the upside last week and the lack of downside continuation now on the same side, right? And these are all the things you consider, guys, to make game plans, right? I know there's a lot of information here, but you got to be aware of all this. At the same time, you do need to be aware of longing into 18.8 and be aware of longing into 18.967. And so this goes back full circle to what I said earlier. This is why you want pullback longs, right? Because pullback longs give you that margin, pulls back to that demand, and then you can sort of catch that train, catch that grind back to the upside, if that's what the market wants to continue to do. All right? So be careful of longs at 18.8. Be careful of longs at 18.967. Watch for that 18.4 pullback. Watch for that 18.250 pullback. All right? And what is the likelihood today with PPI and CPI tomorrow? Probably a little bit more shit, right? Probably a little bit more of shit, to be quite honest. So just be aware of that. All right. On the QQQ, we are coming into a major spot here, right? And this is right lining up with that 18,800. What is that? That is the 456 level and the 100 SMA on the daily chart, the 100 daily SMA on the QQQ. That is right here at 456. That is no doubt going to be a tough level when we trade into it. And I think you will trade into it, right? I think this is where we need to at least test, right? I think the market's going to want to test that 456 supply. That is this previous low. That is this previous low. That is this previous low. That is where the market fell through and tanked on Thursday into Friday, right? When we broke that 456, look at the reaction, right? Look at how the market just sort of gave up under 456. That was the open the floodgates move. Under 456, floodgates opened, right? So we are trading back into that level, and that is going to be a very tough spot. That is 456 and the 100 SMA above. I think we'll probably test it, but you better be aware of that spot when we do move up into it, okay? 456. Above that, you got 460. Above that, 460. That is these previous highs right here. 460, 460. So 100 SMA, big spot. Watch that 456. Watch that 460. Those are the two next levels I'd watch. Above that, you got these previous highs right around here. This little pivot, it's around that 467. Right up in here, right? But we're not going to look at that one yet. But that's up here around 468, right? I'll go back down to that hourly chart. You'll see that right here, right? 468, that's these previous highs right there. So we can put our level there just to have it. 468 right there, right? So today, 100 SMA on the Qs at 456. That is big time. What are we holding above, right? What are we holding above? That is more important here, and the must-watch thing today, right? What is the level that we are holding above on the QQQ? That is right here. Remember that little high that I was talking about that we sort of could reject on the Nasdaq futures? That previous all-time high, that previous daily high, that was 449.34. That was this high right here, right? We are holding above that, which is very interesting, right? Look at this 15-minute chart. And end of day on Friday, if you guys were watching this move, and I know you guys in the Discord where we were all over just sort of hawking this thing, look at this. Look at this. This is very interesting. Look at that. That is a very interesting, hold that came in end of day on Friday, just right at the level. Look at those wicks. Look at how the market reacted right at that 449.34. The exact 449.34 from this daily chart high. This previous all-time high on the daily chart, which was right here back in March, was 449.34 on the dot, on the cent, 449.34 on the cent. And we, on the cent, held above that Friday end of day, which is very interesting to say the least, right? Showing you how important or how you have reactions at those levels. Look at how clean that is. Previous high, previous level we could not get above intraday. We got above it. We held above it. We turned it into a break and retest hold. That is very interesting. So as long as we're above that level, there is no reason to short back into it, right? There is absolutely no reason to short back into these highs, right? We're above them. So we have to be careful shorting back into them. Now, if we get back below it and reject it, then that's a major reason to look for shorts, right? If we look at this daily chart and we look at that 100 SMA right there, if we get back under that 449.34 on the Qs and turn it back into rejections, right, that could be a right shoulder forming on this QQQ. That is very possible, right? So you have your left shoulder, you have your head, you might be forming that right shoulder under that 449.34. That is very possible. That is something you have to be aware of. 449.34 is without a doubt a level that must be on your charts. You have to be aware of that level. That is a huge level. All right, so 449.34, big spot there. Let's see if that tries to hold today. If it does, you'll probably trade higher into that 100 SMA at that 456. Okay? If you do break under that 449.34, be careful of those rejections. You could watch that 444.50, that 445 area that held on Friday. We held around that 445. That's right here. That's that previous low I would be watching that as well, right? So 445, very key, very, very key if we do get a pullback. But if we start seeing failures under this 449.34, guys, and this is not going to just be like a 1-day thing, right? This is going to be something that we start to see develop, right? If we start to see a little something like this develop right here, that could be something that we need to be aware of, okay? That is not a 1-day development thing, but that is something you need to understand, all right? Something in the back of your mind that you're understanding, you're knowing, right? I know this is a level. I need to be aware here, right? I need to be monitoring and hawking what happens at this level, okay? 449.34, big spot. Be careful of this 100 SMA above. S&P 500, another name, whatever you want to call it, index, another futures contract that is coming into a big-ass spot, right? Look at this. Right into 5,400, right into the 100 SMA. We're about to tap it, right? Look at this. Right into it. 5,400, big psych level, previous major level, and the 100 SMA coming right into that level. 5,400, right? 5,400, big spot there. Let me go out to the 4-hour chart and show you why, right? Look at this 4-hour chart on the S&P 500 futures. 5,400 is these previous lows right here, right? And we are moving right into it. So we have to see what happens at 5,400 today. If we get above 5,400 today, if we're able to get above 54, if we're able to see a hold above that 100 SMA, then I think you will be trading back to 54.40 right here. These previous lows. Remember the 54.40 lows that we failed below on Friday that opened the floodgates? That was 54.40. After breaking those lows, the floodgates opened. And so we might be looking for that retest of that level at 54.40. That's very possible. That might be where this ES wants to creep higher into. All right, so watch the 5,400, watch the 100 SMA. If we get above that level today, I think you're going to see that move up into that 54.40, up into that 54.50. That is that previous double bottom low. And that could be, right? That could be where you get a little bit of weakness, right? No doubt. That's a previous major double bottom low. That's absolutely a spot that could get weak, okay? So we need to be aware of that. To the downside, some key levels that did hold. Very key here. The 53.55. Let me go ahead and show you that if TOS would allow me to zoom in. Now it will. On Friday, what did we hold above on Friday? And what do we need to continue to hold above? That is right here, guys. Look at that right there. Look at that Wednesday high that caused the major downside, right? We remember Wednesday. We remember the downside that came in. We remember the high that caused that rejection. That was 53.55, 53.60 area. Look at the holds that came in Friday late on that level, right? Look at that right there, how the market turned from a rejection into an end-of-day support. That is very interesting. And so that, to me, means that we must hold above that level. Right? On any pullback, we need to see 53.55 defend. If 53.55 does not defend and you fail back under this, that could be something that causes some slippage. Okay? So 53.55 and then right below it, that 53.25, right, are some levels that you need to be watching if we get pullbacks. 53.55, 53.25. 5,400 is a big spot today. SPY. Nice holds here at that 528.50. We longed off this level on Friday. If you're part of the group, you know that. That was a sick long on Friday that we basically bought the low of the day, which was absolutely awesome. We bought the low of the day on the SPY calls. Perfect entry. 528.50. What a beautiful trade that was. That was right at these previous lows from the day prior. We talked about this in the live stream. That was a sick long of 528.50. Next level was 531.50. You can see that was this high right here. And look at how... right? Look at how the Wednesday high at 531.50 turned into a perfect hold, right? Look at that. Perfect hold right there at that 531.50 end of day, right above that Wednesday high. Very nice. Grinding higher. 534 is the next level to watch. 534 is this previous high. Remember we talked about this 534 level? That's the 534 level that I would be watching today to see if we can hold above. 534, right here. and then 531.50 are your two pullback levels to watch today. Obviously, under that, you still have the 100, and you still have that 528.50. So definitely some levels below to watch. To the upside, it's very clear where I think this SPY wants to trade to, and very clear where the next major reaction will be. This is abundantly clear. 538, look how clear this is. 538, 538, floodgates opened under 538. We are likely going to trade back up into that level, in my opinion, right? Sort of fill that gap, move all the way back up into where we previously opened the floodgates at, right? Floodgate open, right back into it. This is where the ultimate test is, right? Do we reclaim these lows and get back on our merry way? Or is this that major test that sort of creates that lower low, that lower high, right? So 538, that is going to be the big spot here. Keep an eye on that level. We could just, right, it could make a lot of sense to trade into 538 right into CPI and PPI. That could make a whole lot of sense, all right? So just be aware of that. IWM, you guys can see right here, IWM 205 and the 100 SMA holding well. You can keep an eye on that spot today. However, the major double top rejection, very clear, 208.50, be aware there. 208.50, 210, right? To clear two levels above, and that 205 and 203. Okay? 2,300 people here, 700 likes. We can't even get 30%. We can't even get 30%. 33%. Terrible. That means we're running an ad. Let me know what ad you get. What's the ad? All right. After the ad, we're getting into some stonks. Press the like button if you don't want ads. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Help me get to 100,000 subs. I need help, man. Help me. Ayúdame. Ayúdame. All right. Here we go. Tesla. Same thing. Same thing. Nothing has changed here, right? You can see right here, 205, 195, same exact channel. Nothing has changed, right? 200 SMA causing rejections. Yet Friday, that 195 hold was beautiful. I was really interested. I was really interested in longing that on Friday, and I didn't, which I'm sort of upset about. But that was beautiful. 195, beautiful hold on Tesla on Friday. We pulled right back into it. That was the level we talked about on the live stream. What a beautiful long that was. So 195, watch that level for pullbacks. Watch that 100 SMA. Watch that 188. Some big pullback levels to watch. However, man, this is looking pretty tough up here, right? 200 SMA, smackdown, 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 smackdown. Possibly another 200 SMA smackdown, right? So 200 SMA, not a good spot to long, okay? We're not long in here, and we're not short in here, okay? If you continue to long here, hoping for a breakout, smackdown. If you continue to short here, hoping for a breakdown, smackdown, right? You got to be looking for the channel trade. So right now, I'd be careful on the longs up towards this 205, this 200 SMA. I would look for those pullback longs if you're interested in longs back towards that 195, back towards that 100 SMA, and that 188. However, am I that interested in trading Tesla in general? Not really, right? Not really. Am I really that interested in trading Tesla here? Not quite, okay? Very tight channel, pretty uncertain on a day-to-day basis. However, I will say the 4-hour still is stair-stepping lower to the downside, right? No doubt. The structure is still lower here, very clearly. What do you have to do to get bullish structure here? You need to hold back above this 205, 208 and build that higher structure, right? But that is not yet happening, okay? So 205, 208, major supply above. You need to clear above this level for anything real to happen here. However, I will say, right? I will say, and something that we can look back at. We probably will look back at it, potentially look back at it. I don't know why I thought about that song, but this is, right, a very interesting sort of grind higher above the 100 SMA. That is sort of interesting, right? See how Tesla is now holding above the 100 SMA? Is this the next long opportunity? Is this something to be watching? Am I interested in potentially having a longer-term idea off the 100 SMA on Tesla? Absolutely, right? That's definitely something to consider. So while I am a little bit cautious of longing it in this channel because there's still some major supply above, that is something to think about, right? How you're holding above that 100 SMA. Definitely something to think about. Nvidia. Yeah, nice little upside on Nvidia here this morning. Nice holds on Nvidia as well around that 103.50 level. I like the Nvidia, and I've talked to you guys about this in the chat, and I think, talked about it on Twitter. I like personally the idea of being contrarian here and longing Nvidia. I really do. Might not work, right? Still may see some of that rejection come in on the market, no doubt, right? Still some heavy levels above. I don't think the upside is 100% certain, and so you still need to be aware of that and stay cautious. But man, is it sort of interesting that Nvidia pulled back to our 97, the exact level that we've been looking for those pullbacks into, right? We wanted pullbacks on Nvidia at 140. We wanted pullbacks to long Nvidia at 130. We wanted pullbacks on Nvidia at 120. Man, I want to pull back to 90. I wanted pullback on Nvidia to 97 when Nvidia was at 120, right? Everyone's yelling and screaming, I'm not long till 97. I'm not long till 97. I'm not long till 97. I want 97. I want to wait for 97 to come in, then I'll look to long it. It's too high. It's too high. We need 97. Well, we did it, right? We did it. We're at 97. We held 97. We defended 97 multiple times here, right? Look at this. 97, defended. So, are you going to take your shot, right? Is it time to take the shot? Or is it the time to go against the original game plan and now you're scared, right, to long the stock, right? At some point, you got to go back and say, hey, I wanted Nvidia at 97, and I've seen 97 defend itself for almost a week now. Is it my time to take a risk-reward trade, right? Is it my time to not be scared to lose? Is it my time to not be afraid of being wrong? Is it my time to follow the exact game plan that I wanted to happen about 2 months ago? Possibly, right? Very possibly, right? And so that is what I'm doing. I'm doing it, right? I am long Nvidia, just to let you know. And I do not care if I'm wrong here because I am not going to now, after seeing 97 get tested and defended, I am not now going to, for a lack of a better word, be a bitch about taking a potential trade here, right? I'm going to take it, and I'm going to accept the outcome, right? That is part of trading. So this is very interesting, right? We got our pullback to NVIDIA from 140 to 97. We got about a 30% pullback on NVIDIA. We got a pullback right to that previous double top high in the daily chart. We've defended that previous double top high in the daily chart, and we're seeing maybe a slight turnaround here, right? That could provide a fantastic risk reward, maybe over the next 6 months to a year, right? Maybe over the next 6 months to a year, this could be that next beautiful long-term risk reward idea, right? So very interesting. I'm definitely buying shares. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to be watching this very closely. There is levels that we need to still break above to really be confident, right? There's still very much in short-term rejection spots that you need to be aware of. There's no doubt about that, right? You can see as clear as day that 108, 109 zone is a total smackdown, right? Smackdown, smackdown, smackdown. So, you have to be aware of that smackdown, okay? It's not like it's, I'm long and I don't care about what's coming, right? There's still levels above to be aware of. That is, things I'm aware of as a trader, right? You got to understand what you're doing here, right? So if I'm long NVIDIA, I still am going to be watching those smackdown levels and being aware of them and, adjusting to that and protecting myself if I see it, et cetera, et cetera. But, we get data? Or is that just a nasty candle? Yeah. So 108, big smackdown spot, right? Be careful up there. I like that little 103.50 demand that stepped in on Friday. I like the 100 SMA. I'd love to see NVIDIA build over the 100 SMA for more confidence. And then that 101.50 spot will continue to be a pullback long I look for. If we do get pullbacks to 101.50, that's definitely a spot. And if we get back to 97, right, this is another idea that I would be watching for longs again, right? So watching this, very interesting, guys. You do you. Do your due diligence. Do not trade based off what I'm talking about here in the live stream. But I would make sure that you are getting some type of a longer-term idea on some of these stocks that have pulled back aggressively. Something, right? Just at least understand what's going on. Don't get so tunnel visioned into the 2-minute time frame here. There could be some opportunities that arise from some of this downside that's come in, right? No doubt. AMD, not much. 134, that has to hold, but I'm not a big fan of AMD lately. You can watch 134. You can watch 139. If you break under 134, this thing is dead. And if you get over 139, you could see a little bit of upside continuation. What I like a lot more than AMD is TSM. TSM, one of the strongest bounce-back names on this market since that downside last week. TSM is back over last week's levels, which is actually the week prior's levels, right? The levels before we even dropped. So TSM coming back like a beast. And I am very interested in the holds over 164.50 today. We saw 164.50, 164.50, 164.50, and we also see right here that daily 20 SMA. Now on Friday, all we did was fill the gap, which is very good, right? We had a big gap up. We knew that TSM likes to fill those gaps, right? You never really want to buy TSM on a gap up day. It always wants to fill those gaps. So big, TSM gap up, fill the gap, right? TSM gap up, fill the gap. You're always going to get those gap fills on TSM. And this is exactly what you wanted to happen if you want to look for longs on TSM, right? So I love that TSM filled this gap. I love how it held above that daily 20 SMA. And I like how it's trying to build above this 164.50. So I'm definitely going to be looking for that 164.50 today to create some kind of a long opportunity. If we fail below it, trade idea is dead. We probably retrace back to this 157. But I am very interested to see if we hold above that 164.50 today. SMCI, not much, guys. Watching 530, that's a big rejection spot. You got to get above 530 for this to even have any type of excitement. So watch that 530, watch that 500 on SMCI. Okay. Nasdaq rejecting? Yeah. Short term, man. A little bit of action there. I wouldn't be, I wouldn't make or break my day based off what you're seeing right there. Need a lot more than that. Let's go to Meta, because Meta has been a very strong outperformer, and we took some nice longs on Meta off 510 on Friday. This was a beautiful 510 hold on Friday. That is awesome. Let's look for that 510 again, right? I would love to get a pullback to that 510 today. That is this previous high on Meta. That is a beautiful hold on Friday. If we can get a pullback long on Meta at 510, very interested. I think Meta should probably trade, if this market stays relatively higher, I think Meta should trade into 528. I think that's probably your next test. So 510, definitely watching to see if that holds for a long into 528. If you break under 510, trade sort of over. I want to go to Amazon, because Amazon has a very interesting gap above, but also a very major rejection point. So both sides are very, got to be careful of both sides here. Amazon, daily chart, big gap, right? Huge gap above this high, which is 168.77. Above 168.77, you got nothing but a gap down on Amazon. If we go to the 30-minute chart on Amazon, you can see that we are right at that 168.77 key spot right here. That is big time today. So does Amazon squeeze through this? And does Amazon hold above the 200 SMA? And if it does Amazon want a gap fill? This could be very interesting. Or does Amazon want to turn 168.77 and the 200 SMA into a short-term high and start to fade again? Both sides, very interesting here. Must watch this level today on Amazon. Must watch. Microsoft, another name that I would be sort of interested in that longer term idea. It's only really Nvidia and Microsoft that I have some trust in maybe having sort of that brute strength back to the upside, pull back, major long opportunity. I don't really, I know those are two names that are pretty healthy names, right? Nvidia, Microsoft, two very healthy stocks. And so I'm very interested in this. When I zoom out on this daily chart, I'm very interested in this. Daily chart hold, daily chart hold, daily chart hold, daily chart hold. Look at what's happening on the daily chart again on Microsoft. Is this that next sort of low and long opportunity that has presented itself all year, right? If you longed here back in January, you had a nice opportunity. If you longed here again in April, you had a nice opportunity. If we long here in August, are we going to say in 6 months we had a nice opportunity? We shall see. However, these are the types of ideas that I recommend you zoom out and at least getting an idea of, right? These are those types of ideas that you got to zoom out off that 1 minute chart, off that 30-second chart, and you got to be watching what's happening at these major daily chart levels, right? Here's your weekly chart. Sort of interesting that you're trying to hold above that area, that 400 spot. So that's interesting, right? Something I'm definitely watching. I'm hawking it. I'm seeing what it does. 410, right? 410. That's going to be a big spot on Microsoft. Watch that 410 today. If we get over that 410, I'm going to set an alert there. If we get over that 410, you might start to move towards that 417 again. So watch that 410 on Microsoft. What's Costco up to? Holy hell. Costco again, man. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? I mean, Costco, obviously an absolute animal. Just an animal of a stock. This is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Look at the opportunity that Costco presented itself. Previous all-time highs. Previous major defended level. Look at the 100 SMA just sitting there, just screaming at you. That is just one of the sickest. This has got to be one of the prettiest charts I've seen in a very long time, right? This is like take a screenshot, put it on the damn wall, and just look at the beauty of it. That is sick, right? Previous all-time high, previous high here, into support here back in March, in April, in May, and then look at the pullback and the long that was just presented off that 100 SMA at 790. That is a thing of beauty. So these are the types of opportunities that don't come around often, guys, right? This is an opportunity that didn't come around for the last time we were here to long off 790 was back in May, right? Was back in May. This was back in May, and you just got that opportunity in August. So it's been about 3 months, right? Been about 3 months until you get that opportunity again. And man, right, those are the spots that you just don't want to miss, right? You just don't want to miss it, right? And that's sort of why I'm interested here on Nvidia. I'd rather take a loss here than look back and say, man, that was an opportunity that did not arise for a very long time to long Nvidia again. So interesting. I'm not saying it's set in stone. I'm just sort of warming up your minds to the idea. I'm not saying that the market is fully going to go up, but I just want to give you guys some ideas of, where my mind's at here. So 18,800, no doubt, big spot today on the Nasdaq futures. S&P 500 right at that 100 SMA and that 5,400. You're not getting aggressively long right into these levels today. No matter how much you like some of these long-term ideas, you still got to watch these levels. That SPY 534, that QQQ, that daily pivot 449.34, and that 456 100 SMA. Some still big levels above to be aware of. I think the biggest level to be aware of today, without a doubt, is right here. This is without a doubt the biggest level to be aware of today. 5,400 and the 100 SMA on the S&P 500 futures. Pretty damn clean. All right? That's all I got today, guys. Press that like button if you could. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to come here every day, get an idea of what I'm watching every morning, get an idea of those futures contracts, the SPY, the QQQ. Usually we go over a few more stocks, but today we're running out of time. So, yep. If you want to get more of the analysis, go ahead and check it out down below. Get my technicals, get my levels. You can check that out. Post those every morning. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Oh, wrong one.